Welcome back. Joining me now is the new president of Waterford Chamber, Jonathan Earl of B2B Communications. Jonathan, how are you feeling?
Thank you. Yes, excited, a little bit nervous, but looking forward to the year ahead. It's going to be a busy year, yeah.
Tell me about your involvement with the Chamber. You've been a member for quite a few years now.
I have. Back when I was working here in WLR, I first joined in '96 I joined the retail committee under Kathleen Fitzgerald, who was chair at the time. So it was representing the retailers within the city, and there was lots of work within that. You know, collecting money for the Christmas lights and all that kind of thing. So that was my first taste of Chamber and that. And then I became a director in 2000 for a couple of years and got a taste of the Chamber at a different level. And then, we set up, my wife and I, Karen, we set up our business in 2005. And then in 2014, I rejoined the Chamber as a director again. I'd been a member all along, but I joined the board again in 2014. And then about 2 years ago, the last president, Catherine Kiley, asked me, would I become vice president then? And you have a 2-year lead in, which is, at the time, you're thinking it's a long time, but it goes very quickly. But it's great because you can see what the presidents have to go through and the events and where they speak and what they do and the meetings, and you got a taste of what it's like to be president by viewing this. So you're a little bit more prepared, though it doesn't feel like it now. Well,
you do a lot as Chamber President, don't you?
Well, you do. There are 3 areas really to Chamber presidency. The first and most public is interviews like this and speaking at events and being the kind of the face of Waterford Chamber. And like personally and professionally, that would be the least appealing for me. But because we're used to putting other people in front of the mic and other people in front of the camera. But then you are ultimately chairperson of the board of directors. So there's a role there. And keeping the show going, and which is, when I say that, it's really Gerald and Linda and Michael and the team inside do that. But your role is chair of the board. And finally, there's the governance issue, really, where you're kind of dealing with the CEO of the Chamber and kind of ensuring that's all kept clean, you know.
And the Chamber has been strengthened a lot in recent years, hasn't it? I mean, there's over 400 members now. Recently, there was awards for example, the Toys for Engineer event that won an award, and there's a commendation as well for the Regional Leaders Programme, which is very successful. So a lot going on, and such an important time for Waterford too. So Waterford Chamber has a role to play there too in promoting the city.
Certainly, there's actually over 500 members now because Tramore Chamber of Tourism and Commerce amalgamated with Waterford Chamber last September, and which is great, and it freshens things up a little bit and changes our dynamic a little bit internally, and that represents nearly 17,000 employees in the area. So it's ultimately it's a members' organisation, so it is about them and for them and through them and by them. So it's an exciting time. Gerald, when he came in a little over 2 years ago, brought in some fantastic fresh ideas, like the regional leaders, like advisory panels rather than committees. And I'll be honest, when I first heard of all his new ideas, I thought, gosh, how is he ever going to do it? Implement them all and keep things going? And he has, and that's been fantastic. And it's a credit to him. Waterford Chamber within business in Waterford, or within Waterford as an entity, is important. It's one voice, though. It is the voice for business, but it is one voice, and I suppose it's important that we represent business in Waterford, but also that we aren't contrary to the other voices coming out of Waterford on the national scene, you know, that it's important we kind of complement the messages coming from other organisations and the council and that kind of thing. But it's been a good year under Catherine's year, and Gerald was in, and they were both up in Dublin receiving those awards. Those are national awards, which is great, you know, great for them.
Yeah, and like you say, working within all the other stakeholders in Waterford, but also working regionally as well with the other regional chambers is important.
Absolutely, in the same way that I don't know, but I've heard that Michael Walsh has a great relationship with the other CEOs in the other counties in the South East. Gerald does with South East Chambers, and it's not just about Waterford now. While it's obviously important to us and it's our area, we need to, and I think it's happening more and more where we're working as a region, as apart from the Southwest or the Midwest or whatever, that the Southeast is working as a region. I remember, more than 15 years ago, around 2002, sitting in a room with who would be the future directors of BEAT, and they were discussing the Southeast as an entity for BEAT and how to get that, how to create the Southeast as an entity, and that's a constant challenge, whether it be in business or in media or whoever. Obviously, there are challenges for the Southeast and for Waterford, but nationally, it has been noted that Waterford is the capital of the South East, and that's important for Waterford business, for Waterford, for the civic side of Waterford, that we continue to act and remain as the capital of the South East. Yep,
absolutely. Well, listen. Best of luck. I hope you have a really enjoyable year. No doubt you're going to be seeing lots of me approaching you with a microphone. Please don't run in the opposite direction.
Not at all. Thank you.
Jonathan Earl, thanks so much. Now, there was great news during the week with the announcement of 100 proposed new jobs for Waterford as a result of an investment by Allstate Sales Group. The US company is establishing software development and CAD support centres both here and in Sligo. Sinead Ahern from WLR's News Desk spoke to the CEO of the IDA, Martin Shanahan, and the CEO of ASG, Anthony Tepedino.
This is a fantastic announcement from ASG committing to 100 jobs here in Waterford, also 100 jobs in Sligo. That announcement has happened concurrently this afternoon. I think it shows great commitment to Ireland. It shows great commitment to regional locations in Ireland. This is a very fast-growing company. Founder is here this afternoon showing his commitment coming out of Brooklyn, and from an IDA perspective, we're delighted that ASG has made this decision, and I think it reinforces the strength of this region, the strength of the South East. We already have obviously many companies operating here, employing 15,600 people, and ASG is going to add to that pool.
And success breeds success.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from our perspective, the more companies that we can attract to invest in Waterford, to invest in the South East, the more reference sites we have to point to, the more we can say, others have done it, this is a well-worn path, you can do it too. And we've had those, I think, examples over the last while, and today is another very good example of a fast-growing company that has chosen the South East as its base now.
And is it a challenge to get companies to locate in places like the South East?
It's a challenge to get companies to locate in Ireland in the first instance, to be honest. We're up against huge competition from right across the globe, countries big and small, trying everything they can to get investments to their countries. So we're not just competing between different locations in Ireland, we are competing internationally, and we're competing very hard internationally. Obviously, all regions have slightly different offerings. As you've heard from ASG this afternoon, they are very confident in their decisions to locate in Waterford and in Sligo, and that is, I think, is as a result of many different facets, including the education system. The Institute of Technology obviously played a role. What they have seen here, the people they have met, the other companies that we've introduced them to, all of that comes together to give them the confidence that they can invest.
And is it the case that companies want to be located near to like-minded companies, I suppose similar companies?
Yeah, I think that certainly plays a part. We see that in the kind of cluster effects where certain types of companies, whether they be technology or life sciences companies, want to be co-located. And I think it's also reassurance that if others have been able to do it in a similar sector, they will be able to do it in that sector.
And you said it was a very quick process. It's not usually this fast getting a company to locate here.
No, we have had all types of experience over the years, from I think 13 years is one of the longest to, in this case, a number of months since we made contact with ASG and since they made this decision to set up. So they have moved quickly, we have moved quickly with them.
And anything else in the pipeline for Waterford? Has there been many site visits so far this year?
We are always looking. Never a day goes by that the IDA team isn't focused on the southeast, and the team here in the southeast and in Waterford and Brendan MacDonald do an excellent job of ensuring that Waterford, the southeast, is front of mind all of the time for the IDA team across the globe.
Because you do have a number of, I suppose, that would be vacant, I suppose, at the moment, that business co-location. Your second advanced technology building, that's complete?
Yeah. So obviously we have now built a second advanced technology building, as you've said. The first of those, obviously, we were successful in securing a client for. We are marketing the second one of those very hard. And where we have constructed these advanced technology buildings around the country, we have been successful in all instances, actually, at securing investors. The timeline for doing that can be 9 to 12 months post the actual completion of the technology building, but it has worked, and that investment in turnkey property solutions that we can bring investors to where they can see where they can set up has been very successful for us.
Anthony Tepedino, CEO and President of ASG worldwide.
So 200 jobs between Waterford and Sligo. What exactly do you do?
So ASG is a infrastructure network development company, both on design and construction. So we provide the services so that folks could be on their cell phones and in their homes and on their watching video on their TV. That infrastructure, the pipes in the ground, the poles, the wires, that kind of stuff we design and we place and we build.
And why did you decide to locate in Ireland?
Well, I've been coming back and forth for several years. Some of my stateside clients are here, and the country has just been. I've just seen such a great attitude here and a great business climate, and we want to expand into the European market. So I felt that Ireland would be a great stepping stone to that. And then once meeting the IDA, it just became real obvious that we should be here and be here quick, and that's why.
And why Waterford then?
Well, we've toured the cities, all the counties. We were all over your country. I've been in this country more than I've been in my own. And Waterford really represented a wonderful culture, a great institute of technology that we're going to be drawing from. And it just represented the kind of culture we were looking for in that balance, you know. Same with Sligo. We felt there was an institute out there that we could really draw from. We've partnered with them both on on training and on development of certain services. So I think between the two areas, we've really tapped into a market that maybe most haven't tapped into just yet. So hopefully we're gonna learn the other folks as well.
And quality of life, is that important for your company?
Well, it has been, and everything that we've done over the last 10 years in the States has been to create that quality of life. We have we have challenges in the States that sometimes don't allow us to do that. But as I was saying earlier, as the company grew, we started to lose a little bit of our identity. And both in Sligo and in Waterford, I want to recharge that identity because that quality of life, that balance that they have is what we're looking for and always want to maintain. Look, it's real great to grow a big company and make money, but if the folks aren't going to be happy doing so, I don't see the point. You know, so I think there's an opportunity here to not only create a great work environment, build a company, and then change the world. That would be the plan.
So you've announced the jobs today. How soon before you expect to have people working?
We already are. We're already working. We're hiring in Waterford and in Sligo. Probably so far in Waterford we have 4 or 5 jobs done. In Sligo there's about 5 or 6. So we're ramping up slowly as the needs present themselves. But over the next, I think it's 2 years or 3, we should have 100 folks in each one of the areas, and that will be the starting point for us.
So what kind of jobs, what kind of people are you looking for?
So it ranges, software development, CAD drafting, research in the engineering sector. You've got to be very careful about that. It's not research as a research and development type thing, but it's researching engineering work to build software. That's where we get our information from. Back office function as in HR, some finance, I mentioned research. So things like that, back office functions as well as production functions in the engineering world.
And initially you're going to be based here in WorkLab?
In WorkLab until we need to expand that. But WorkLab, I tell you, offers a great opportunity for us. We could grow this for a little while before we really have to build an infrastructure for it. They have everything here to offer, and they could accommodate up to several, maybe up to 20 people. So we're pretty good.
So you're looking forward to coming back and forth a bit more?
I do. Well, I come back every couple of weeks, so I've become a scone snob. But but yeah, no, I've been coming back regularly now for the last 3 years. So my whole family now has become part of this. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Anthony Tebedino talking to Sinead Ahern there. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Hope you enjoyed the show, and remember you can listen back to a podcast of this or indeed any previous shows on the WLR website. But for now, from me, have a great week and thanks for listening.